Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Last Word Sports, and today we got the whole gang here. Nick, myself, Scott, and we got Fletcher Ferris with a virtual appearance there on the phone. How we doing, everybody? How we doing today?
Pretty good, Chuck. Pretty good.
Pretty good. Just
Out of
vibing.
school, graduated high school.
Yeah, just graduated high school, looking to put out some content for you this summer. And today we're going to be talking about these playoff series going on in the NBA and our predictions for not only these series but the future series that have some possibility to them. So.
And we apologize, we're a little late. So some of the series like Phoenix, Denver, for example, might be pretty easy to pick.
Yeah,
I know, man.
yeah, I got Denver in 7.
Denver is 7.
3-0 comeback.
They're winning the next 4.
But you know what, Scott? That's a perfect segue into our first series that we'll talk about, which is Denver and Phoenix. And before these two start, I just want to issue a formal apology to not only the entire Phoenix Suns organization, but to Chris Paul as an individual. Chris Paul, I'm so sorry about what I said to you in the preseason, that I thought you were too old,
The 10th seed,
too small, and that I thought the fact that
too small.
That the fact that you were getting older, that you wouldn't be able to lead the Suns to a powerful seed in the Western Conference. And you know what? I don't think anyone could have predicted you'd get the 2 seed. These two, they had you high in the playoffs, but not quite the 2 seed.
No one was expecting the 2 seed, let's be honest.
But I'm sorry, I had Phoenix Suns missing the playoffs.
You had them the 10th seed,
I had them at the 10 seed.
Behind the Pelicans.
You know what? I
own Bledsoe.
I own up to that, man. I own up to that. And, Phoenix, you've been playing spectacularly well. Mikal Bridges is really coming to his own as a 3-and-D guy. DeAndre Ayton just looks phenomenal.
His first year, I think it was his second year, he averaged like 18, 13.
Yeah.
He's always been a good statistical player. But his impact has been different with the Suns this year.
It's because of Chris Paul.
It's because of Chris
everybody's
Paul.
impact has been different, and that's the weird thing is if you look at the main guys on Phoenix, it's not like they've had this incredible statistical season.
Yeah, Devin Booker is down on his stats.
In fact, if Chris Paul or Devin Booker had better stats, they might have won an MVP.
Yeah.
But, Chris Paul's stats solid. It's like 16 and 8. Booker's solid. He's like 25, but, he doesn't get many boards or assists, and he shoots like 29% from 3. And Ayton, I think his stats went down. He's like 15 and 12. And so none of them had like super individually impressive seasons, and I think that's why a lot of people doubted them. Even coming into the playoffs, saying Lakers in 5, I think, obviously, Anthony Davis's injury played a big part in the Suns coming out in 6 games. But I honestly think I probably would have taken Phoenix in 7, even if AD was healthy. So, they're a really tough, overachieving team.
Yeah, I agree. My first thing to say about this Suns team is that it's such a complete all-around team. They're good at defense. They're good at sharing the ball. They're good at shooting. They're good at scoring. There's not really any, major, downs to their game. They've got a very complete overall game.
Ayton is kind of athletic enough to guard some of the more swift big men like Anthony Davis.
I mean, and then Jay Crowder, I know people say he's a bum, but he's been very solid for them.
He's a glue guy.
He's a glue guy, exactly. His defense, his trash talking, he's actually been kind of
He'll
good
hit some nice threes now and then.
Yeah, he'll hit some nice threes. Mikal Bridges is the number one player I want to talk about because, they're considering offering him a max this offseason, which is, I think, kind of ridiculous. But at the same time,
you read that?
I read that.
Nick has insider information.
Well, NBA contracts are sort of flexible. It's kind of weird. They're very different from NFL.
But they're planning on paying him a lot this offseason. And honestly, I can see him getting anywhere from 25, 35, maybe not 35, but somewhere around that type of money. He deserves it, man. He has been electric on defense. He's been a great shooter. He's been consistent on offense.
$35 million.
Yeah, something like here.
That's a lot of money for someone who barely averages 15
off season.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
The thing about him, though, is that he's got tremendous upside. He's close to entering his prime. He's just getting better and better, making huge strides, huge leaps each year. He's an outstanding shooter.
Yeah.
He's an outstanding
I don't think
defender.
$25 million a year is ridiculous.
Oh, wait, what? This isn't the one that I was reading.
That's ridiculous at all. I think it's warranted, especially considering his projected production over the next few games.
Chris Paul is not going to be a long-term cap problem for this team. He's probably
No,
gone
not at all. He'll probably be
soon,
gone
yeah,
within the next couple of years.
if not after this offseason.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if they win a championship, I could see him.
Staying.
That's a big if. That's a big if.
They beat Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's quite a big
They
if.
the
there.
almighty Brooklyn Nets. Then, yeah, I could see him staying.
Okay, well,
Or I think it'd also just be a really sweet conclusion to his career to go out on a chip.
Yeah, he could totally
Yeah.
retire if he wins this
It'd
one.
be like
I
a
would.
Peyton Manning sheriff, one last ride.
Although he would not be getting carried the way Peyton Manning
Although,
did.
yeah, he wouldn't get
But, yeah.
carried by Von Miller.
We're not going to talk about that right now.
Okay, so this is one article that I found. You know,
Only Cam Newton had more time.
NBA analyst wouldn't blink at giving Mikal Bridges a $100 contract, $100 million contract.
Over how many years, though?
Probably I think it was 4 years. I
Yeah,
don't really
so
know. But, I mean, 25 million is a good amount of money. But I think he totally deserves it. I mean,
Yeah.
how old is he? Like 23,
23,
23, 22?
something? Oh, yeah.
I mean, his defense is elite. Like he should make an
Oh,
all
yeah. He's
defensive
been
team
a
this
great
year.
defensive player since his Villanova days.
Yeah, and he's like mobile. He's able to guard those guards. He's able to guard those, small
play on
forwards
the
like
perimeter.
Kawhi.
Yeah.
And he's an elite 3-point shooter. He has been the difference maker for the Suns this year, other than Chris Paul. I think that has been the biggest step up, other than Chris
Yeah,
Paul.
as much as I love Chris Paul, I think there has been a little bit of a narrative
Oh, yeah.
that's giving him a little too much credit. As much as I like Chris Paul,
Just 'cause we're seeing
people
trends.
are saying, "Oh, they won 50 games, they won 20 games last year. It's all Chris Paul." Like you said, there have been a lot of different guys who have chipped in and become better, and their roles have shifted. Jay Crowder's a new addition. Michael Bridges stepped up. How about Cameron Payne? That guy has
Oh
been
my
a
God.
really, really nice reliever. For
I
them.
love Cameron Payne, dude.
I
we
love
never
Cameron
really thought he'd
Payne
come
so
into a role
much,
like that.
man.
I saw this thing that was like Chicago said that the first practice they had with him, they thought he could not play at an NBA level.
Who, Cameron Payne?
Cameron Payne.
That's
They said-
messed up, bro.
They said that at his first practice, the coaches were like, he cannot play at an NBA level.
Yeah.
Why would you?
And he has
why would
been
you trade for him?
he's
He was
been
playing.
a
Wasn't he playing
great
in
player.
like China 2 years ago?
Yeah.
man? Yeah. He's really had a great.
He's
resurgence.
really, really solid player.
And
Dario
this is a
Saric.
team that Dario Saric.
He's
This is a team
consistent,
that
yeah.
went 8-0 in the bubble last year, and I know the bubble was a weird place, but the point is, I don't think it's just purely as much as this team sucked. They added Chris Paul. Now they're 30 wins better. That's kind of the way a lot of media outlets are trying to spin it.
Well, I
And
mean,
think
let's
you
not
have to
forget they were
credit a lot of
8-0
guys
in the
on this
bubble.
team.
Like they
That's what I
really
just
pulled
said.
it
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
they pulled it together.
I can't forget because Scott just told me that.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like while Devin Booker's stats haven't taken like a tremendous leap or anything like that to get better, it's it does speak levels to the value Chris Paul adds. Because he comes in and Devin Booker's not having to take a huge jump, and the team does rise 30 wins. Like we said, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, they all help. But I think it would be criminal to understate what Chris Paul added to the team.
Yeah,
And
for
just
sure,
to go
for
off
sure.
that, Fletch,
Paul's the main reason.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and just to go off that, man, it's like Devin Booker didn't have to be the distributor and the playmaker for like the first time in
yeah,
his career.
yeah.
He had someone
Yeah.
who could, drive in and dish to bigs, and he could hang around the perimeter and get his mid-range shot, his three-point shot going, while Chris Paul was down there dishing the bigs, dishing Sarge,
Booker's
dishing
not
Ayton.
he's not a natural.
He's
playmaker.
not a natural playmaker, but that's the position he's had to fill for the, the
Phoenix.
past
Yeah.
few years for Phoenix. But
And Chris Paul is such an excellent leader off the court and on the court. But the thing that impresses me is that his ability to pass the ball without turning it over. I mean, I think
He had
had
like
15
15
assists,
assists,
no
and
he had
turnovers.
15 assists and 0 turnovers. And this season, he averaged 9 assists and 2 turnovers, which is absolutely
impressive.
incredible. Especially as a guy, what is
Yeah,
he, like
averaged 2
35?
turnovers.
Only 2
He's
turnovers.
36.
that's
That's really low for
Dude, Luka
9
averages like
assists.
7.
Yeah.
Well, Luka's great and all, but he's still, young, and he's working on being a
He's
more
a little out of shape.
Speaking of Luka,
Hey,
why
man,
don't we
Jokic-
segue to the
people
team
say
that beat the
Jokic is out of
Mavericks?
shape all the time. He just
Okay.
messed around and won MVP.
Well,
But I just want to say one more thing about the Nuggets real quick, is that
I have nothing to
Jokic
say about the Nuggets. The Nuggets
Jokic
are
is
losing.
incredible, man. That's all I got to say about the Nuggets. And Michael Porter Jr. has been kind of inconsistent in the playoffs, but when he's on, he looks like a superstar.
I saw this thing the other day on Instagram. It said Michael Porter Jr. is what Lakers fans have always
Wish
thought Kyle Kuzma
Kuzma.
was.
Yeah, that's
And I was
true.
like, that could not be more true,
But
man.
he's really
Kyle
inconsistent.
Kuzma
But
is not that guy, pal.
he is not that guy. But
MPJ, are you? Absolutely.
I mean, 22 points in a quarter versus the Blazers. That was a heartbreaker. But like,
No, Denver's a nice, solid young team.
Yeah.
Aaron Gordon was another solid addition. They've got a couple of guys who are nice with the bench. Monte Morris, Marcus
Just wait till
Howard
Jamal
get some
Murray
shots.
gets back, man.
But it's kind of a lost year without Jamal Murray. And Jokic had really impressive stats. But, they're building for the future. They're going to be good for the next 2, 3, 4 years as long as they keep these main three guys and Murray comes back healthy. That said, I think Phoenix wins in 4.
Oh, yeah.
Not to be disrespectful
Not
to
even
Denver.
close.
Maybe
Yeah.
they take game 4.
I'll give him a gentleman.
If it was Jamal Murray,
They're down
if
like 15 right now.
if Jamal Murray was
Game
back
3.
in, I could see the Nuggets taking in 7. But
Yeah.
right now, the fact that they don't have Jamal
was
Murray,
there, I could give them, Phoenix in 5 or 6, but without Murray, it's a sweep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think Denver could win the series if they had Murray.
I think they could,
he's,
but
I think
would.
he's
I
that
would-
much of a
I
difference
think
maker in the
Murray is
playoffs.
a great player,
But-
but his value is overstated. What was Denver's record after losing him again?
There's a
Yeah,
difference
but here's
between
the
your
thing.
record in the regular season.
Yeah, in the playoffs,
Jamal Murray in the postseason is a whole nother
That's
play.
what I've been saying this for years. This is Jamal Murray's not a regular
So
season
great,
player.
Nick. We are just on the same
Yeah,
page.
he's not a regular. No, but I literally said this in like 4 of our previous videos. Is that
Yeah.
Jamal Murray is not a
Yeah,
regular
but
season
Jamal
player.
Murray's the greatest
Yeah,
shooter of all
totally.
time.
He's kind of like no.
I said
but-
he had a ton of potential to be one of the best shooters of all time, considering that he dropped.
Video said Jamal Murray
Whoa.
is going to end up like a
No, you
top
get
3 shooter of all time.
But unironically,
Yeah.
Jamal Murray is very much like Donovan Mitchell, total overachiever in the postseason.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is that
but-
he is an elite shooter in the postseason, and like that last series, what did he drop? Like 30 or 35, 36 points per game versus the Jazz last
And
year.
even against the Clippers, he was really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
kind of
like
ran out of steam by the
D-Mitch
time they got to
and
the
Murray
Lakers.
were like trading back 40-point games. per
Exactly,
game.
is what I'm
Like,
saying.
shit.
Yeah,
Like
but the sad truth is Murray's not there this year.
Oh, yeah.
Suns in 4, maybe 5.
I agree.
I'll give them the gentleman's. I will give them the gentleman's.
Okay,
On to
so
the
I think
Clippers,
Chuck
yeah.
wanted to
Yeah,
move on to
segue. Let's
Clippers,
just go to the
Jazz.
other.
And speaking
series in
of
the
Jamal
West.
Murray's like Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell
Stephen A.
is
Smith this
that,
morning.
Okay,
Let me
yeah,
just start with this.
I saw that, dude.
He said-
that was so bad.
Oh my god,
That
Everybody's
was
saying
so
this.
bad.
Listen,
that was horrendous.
Stephen A. Smith.
I'm
man.
no huge fan of Stephen A. That time he said Dwayne Haskins was a running quarterback was kind of the end of my, well, I wouldn't say
Validity.
respect for Stephen A.
Your,
I
like,
respect
credibility
the guy.
for
But
him.
yeah, I think sometimes he's got some bad takes. I actually don't think this was as bad of a take as everyone's making it out to be. Obviously, I don't think legacy-wise Donovan Mitchell is anywhere near Stockton or Malone yet. But if you're just talking about, I mean, would it really be crazy for me to say Donovan Mitchell is a top 8 player in the league right
Yeah,
now? Because
it
in the
would.
playoffs, when it matters most, he's better than everybody else in the league. At least that's the way he's been playing these last 2 years. And again, it's early to say that. But, he's playing just as well. Look at a guy like Giannis, who's got 2 MVPs.
That's
he's got
fair.
an all-star.
That's fair.
Drew Holiday's is number 3. James Harden in game 1 goes down in the first minute and you lose by 40?
Yeah,
There's no
that's
excuses, okay? Donovan Mitchell, they lost game 1 without him. He comes back. They've won 6 straight playoff games. 4 against the Grizzlies, 2 against the Clippers are 6-0. The only other guys to start a postseason 6-0 with like 33 points per game or more is like LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe. Okay? He's unreal, man. He's shooting like 45% from 3,
33
60%
points per
from
game.
the field. Okay, game 1, the freaking Jazz missed 20 shots in a row in like the second quarter. They're down like 17 to the Clippers, and Donovan Mitchell goes for 16 in the third quarter, 16 in the fourth quarter. Okay, 32 in the second half, come back and win. He drops like 40 again last night, and even with a bad second half. Right, I love Donovan Mitchell, dude. He just outperformed so much. And in the regular season, he's a good player. He's a little inefficient, not great defensively. But he is just such a next-level performer in the postseason. And this team, even though it doesn't look like there's a ton of great players around him, because relative to the other top teams in the league there aren't, Utah, remember how you guys said the Suns are so cerebral, they play defense, they shoot threes? Utah does all that.
Yeah.
Utah hits the
No,
most
Utah's
threes
got
per
a
game in the
very-
league.
very
They
good
lock
team.
in on defense.
Very
Quinn Snyder's
good
great.
team.
Did you
I
see
could actually
Bojan
talk
Bogdanovic? Because he clamped Kawhi Leonard
Yeah.
last night. That was painful to watch as a fan of Kawhi Leonard. He was all in his grill. Okay, Gobert, he's a
boy.
weird type of player,
yep.
and he
3
gets a
times.
lot of hate
3
because
times.
he's not pretty. But he just locks down the rim, and he'll give you 15 and 15 every game. Okay, Ingles will just splash threes from the corner.
Daddy
Jordan
Jones!
Clarkson
He led
comes
the
off
league
bench.
in
I
true
love
shooting
Joey.
percentage this season.
Jordan Clarkson
Yeah.
is the new Lou Williams. The guy is just a bucket off the bench. And
I mean, I can
They
add
don't
on to
even
this. I got
have Mike
stats right here.
Conley in now. Yeah,
Is like Donovan Mitchell. He's averaging 33 this postseason, which is unreal and on great efficiencies. You got Jordan Clarkson averaging 19, right?
My boy,
obviously,
6 man.
he's a bucket, bro. He is
6 man of the
just
year.
straight up a bucket. He can score from anywhere.
Steal the draft on my fantasy team.
LeBron,
He lights up like-
LeChoke was making fun of these guys at the All-Star game. Like, nobody ever played with Utah when they were kids. We're just going to draft Donovan Mitchell at the end. Like, and I get it. People were kind of saying, we've seen this before. Utah's the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. Except nobody on that Hawks team averaged more than like 15 points per game. The reason why we didn't think this team was legit was because we
there
didn't
were
think
4
they had
All-Stars
a
on
real-
that team, though.
A real superstar, okay? But Donovan Mitchell
Is,
is
like,
the real
becoming a
superstar.
star.
No, he's
He
legit.
is the
Yeah.
best
He's
player.
been that way since his rookie
Since
season.
he took out Paul George and Russell Westbrook
In the first
six
round
games,
as
dude.
a rookie,
He's nuts.
and he
He's
didn't
nuts.
win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, and he doesn't have like anybody on his team who's a real number
I
2
agree.
All-Star caliber player other than Gobert.
But
who's only there
Gobert, he's not a
defensively.
scoring player. He's a
Gobert's
defensive
a
player.
really, really strong role player. Donovan Mitchell carries the brunt of the load offensively and then is surrounded with a ton of nice shooters. Okay? He is what Milwaukee should be with Giannis.
That's facts.
Okay? Donovan
is so
Mitchell
facts.
is the best player in a series with Kawhi goddamn Leonard, who is like the 3rd best player on the planet behind Kevin Durant and LeBron James. Okay? And Paul George, who I know Paul George gets a lot of slack. I know he chokes. But
he's a great
guys who
player. He's a good
average
player.
25, 7, and 5, shoot 40%
he had a-
from 3 and are athletic 6'8" wing defenders.
He had
do
a
not
good
grow on
series
threes.
against Dallas. I know he's been struggling right now against Utah, but against Dallas, I mean, he was the difference maker in a lot of those games.
So,
Yeah, but, like-
after gushing over Utah,
Wait,
for
can I talk
10 minutes,
for a
yeah,
second?
go ahead.
A little bit longer. All right. Boyan, I didn't finish the stats. Boyan's 18 points per game so far in the
Super
playoffs.
underrated.
He's their second leading
Mike
scorer.
Conley's 17 points per
Is he
game
their
in the
second leading
playoffs.
scorer?
Well,
No,
Conley,
Jordan Clarkson.
I don't know
Jordan
how much
Clarkson.
Conley's.
Yeah, he's played 7 games.
Oh,
Or 5 games. 5
he
games.
hasn't
My
played
bad.
it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I looked at the wrong one.
Well,
Rudy
what I was
Gobert is
gonna say
averaging.
is I'm worried about Conley.
Yeah,
but
that's
he should
gonna
probably
be
be
big.
back by like
Low
85.
key, they are legit title contenders. Other than, I feel like the only team right
Look,
now that I can confidently say better is the Jazz.
I'd
is
pick
probably the
pick
Nets.
Brooklyn probably in 6.
Yeah.
If Brooklyn came out the East. That's how talented they are.
Yeah,
It
they're
sucks.
unreal. Yeah,
but,
but-
if Utah's playing Phoenix in the West Conference Finals,
I got
who's to
Utah.
say they can't be Phoenix?
I got Utah.
I mean, when has Phoenix gone to the finals? Come on, what, like 1975, Gar Hurd?
Nah,
19,
they made it-
1993
they made it with
with
Charles
Barkley?
Barkley
Barkley,
in the
Charles
90s.
Barkley against Jordan.
Yeah, that was
I think it was
before
like
Devin
93.
Booker was born, man.
But anyways, continuing. Okay, Gobert,
Can
16, 14, and 3 blocks. This dude is unreal defensively. And I know, Fletch, you
Hey,
kind of got
super
your,
good
problem
point.
with Gobert. I know you think he's overrated.
Mr. Gator.
But this dude is the center
overrated
of the
defender
one of the
on the
best
planet.
defenses in the
I
league.
am
They're the
not
4th
taking
best.
away
Fletch, listen to me.
rim
They are the 4th best defensive team in the league right now.
He is
Right.
a fantastic
4th
rim
defensive plus,
defender.
and you have
The
that
best I've
defensive
ever
anchor.
seen.
You have that defensive anchor that you can rely on because you can let the players slip by. Go to Gobert because Gobert is such a threat in the paint that it shores up the
helps
rest
the
of your
rest of the
defense.
guys
It helps the
play.
rest of your
My
defense because they
issue-
can focus on 3-point shooting.
No, for real.
Right? I mean,
issue with
defending.
Gobert-
I mean,
The
there's
Jazz
there's
let
numerous.
up-
their
the
defense
Jazz
is
let
so
up, like
good.
the fewest threes in the league,
Yeah.
and they make the most.
Their
They're a modern
defense
NBA
is
team.
unreal, and it's really centered around Rudy Gobert, but also Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal has been
He's a good defender,
super
too.
nice for them too.
My
He doesn't
issue
show up
with-
statistically, but he's
I
another guy.
wouldn't say
that's just
super
so,
nice, but he's a
Great
really
defender.
strong
That's what I'm
defender.
saying. Is that he's another really? He's like a Jay Crowder type. He's just a very
he's
solid.
not.
Yeah, he's
In terms of defense, but no, he's not. That
Well,
boy cannot
I mean,
score.
what is
that boy
Crowder-
cannot score
10
for the
points
line,
per
man,
game,
bro.
10 points per
Crowder
game, 7
averages
rebounds
like
per
10.
game, 1.3
Royce
steals.
O'Neal's averaging 10 points.
Yes,
How? He's trash.
he averaged like 8 points in the regular season too.
Bro,
Crowder's
If I-
not much of a scorer either.
If I could
Yeah.
just talk for a
He's
minute.
just another super tough defender.
Fletcher, shut up and listen to us debate.
Yeah.
Okay, no, talk. I'm
brought
holding you
up
up to
my
the mic.
name. Now let me rebut. All right? My issue with Gobert, I'm not going to take away anything from his defense
Great
of the
defense
rim.
player.
He is the best rim defender I have ever seen play basketball.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
when
only
you
18.
say that,
We're only
you mean
18.
like-
Yeah.
I
Okay,
say
yeah,
that as
I
an
guess.
18-year-old. I haven't had it.
Yeah.
I wasn't around in the
We didn't get
90s.
to see a key.
I
or
mean,
anything
Dwight
like that.
Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard, but yeah.
Yeah, no,
Two
Gobert's a better
seasons
rim
with Dwight
defender.
Howard.
He was a three-time
How,
defensive
my
player of the
issue
year, like
with
3
him
years in a
Three
row.
seasons
when
of Dwight
is winning defensive player of the year when he
You're just
can
talking
only
right over
guard the
Fletch.
center position one-on-one. Like, a defensive player of the year year should be somebody who can guard multiple.
You're right.
You're right. He clamped Kawhi the last possession, or
Marcus Morris.
Whatever.
Marcus Morris has been so broken, but that's another debate.
He clamped a trash role player who's been known for selling the entire playoffs.
No, but Gobert does get cooked when he has to switch on to point guard.
But when he's in the paint and he's got the help defense,
it's very hard to compare perimeter defenders to.
Honestly, I think
Gobert.
they could honestly change
Do
the award to have
different
two
awards.
different awards for perimeter
I'm
and.
completely fine if they made a separate award for best rim
It makes the most
protector.
sense. Yeah.
Give it to Gobert every year on repeat, and you won't see me complaining. It's when they give him Defensive Player of the Year when guys like Ben Simmons guard 1 through 4.
Shout out Dimitri Sarandro,
and
man.
lock down the entire
Shout out
league.
Benny Wood.
I know I sound like Dimitri right
Yeah,
now,
he
but
plays
it's
defense.
true.
He doesn't
Ben
score.
Simmons
play
is capable
defense,
of
very
locking
nice.
down the entire league 1 through 4. But he's not going to win defensive.
What about 5?
He can guard most centers, honestly.
He can even guard some fives. It's just like if he was forced to guard his own teammates.
Here's my
thing,
The
Fletch.
only guy who
Here's
he
my
probably
thing.
can't guard is his teammate.
Ben Simmons is a
maybe,
great
yeah.
defender, one-on-one,
Maybe Jokic.
and he's
Cat.
pretty good at getting deflections and stuff, like getting into passing lanes
Cat
and stuff
ever
like
got
that.
to the playoffs.
But Rudy Gobert's help defense.
Because Portland's going to trade for Cat, right? That'll
Yeah,
fix all of our
we
problems.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll
But-
hire Stotts back.
Rudy Gobert's help defense in the post can help guard those guys that are help get the guard.
Worst defensive
It helps guard the players that get past the Jazz defenders.
No,
at-
Nick,
when they get
you're
to the
right that Gobert is the foundation
Ben
of
Simmons.
that Utah defense.
Here's the thing: is that Ben Simmons
is
doesn't
a
have
chess
the help
piece.
defense that Rudy Gobert
Ben
does,
Simmons
and that's
is
my
a
point.
chess piece you can put on one guy to shut
And
him
lock
down.
him down.
But Gobert solidifies the entire Utah
Exactly.
defense.
That's
by
what I'm
just
saying. It's because
anchoring
they
it.
can focus on guarding the 3-point the 3-point arc.
If you get driven by, you've got Gobert.
You've got
in the paint.
Gobert, and there's videos of players driving into the paint, realizing Gobert is there, and just turning around like that. I've seen multiple videos like that. Like players are legitimately afraid
not
to go
just
up against
one,
him.
but multiple.
Or
videos.
just no, I know what he's talking about though. Like just,
Yeah.
Well, just like he gets past a guy, and then you see Gobert, and you either stutter or a quick pull up into a brick because you had to pull up so quick.
Yeah,
Like-
Gobert does that on defense. I don't see Ben
he's a
Simmons
dog.
doing.
No, he's an enforcer.
Now, after gushing about the Jazz for 15
No, we can talk about
minutes,
the Clippers, Scott.
I'm taking the
This is
Clippers
you.
in 7.
Shut the
I
fuck
know the Clippers.
Shut
like
up,
themselves.
bro.
And let me
Shut
also preface with this, okay?
Shut up.
No team.
Shut
No,
up.
no, no.
No, shut up.
No
I
team.
do not
Hold on.
wanna hear this.
This is why I'm
Shut up.
picking the Clippers. This is why I'm picking the Clippers, okay?
Okay,
I'll give you two
shut up.
reasons.
Shut up.
If Kawhi Leonard is one of those reasons, I
No,
believe
listen.
him, bro.
Here's the first reason. The first
You're
reason.
saying Kawhi Leonard is the greatest
Listen,
basketball player.
Fletch,
37-4 is legit in the first season.
Here's the two reasons, okay? The first reason is that no team has ever come back from down 2-0 in back-to-back series and continued to
30.
advance. The Clippers
Oh,
got down
got
2-0
you.
last round and
Got
down
you.
2-0 this round. And the second reason is that the Utah Jazz
God,
have
you
never
idiot.
lost a series in which they're up 2-0 in a best of 7. Now, both of those are reasons why Utah should win.
shut
I'm
up,
still picking the Clippers.
Shut up.
They don't-
Unironically.
You and your
They don't have the
Kawhi
ball
Leonard
movement. They don't-
standing.
Serge Ibaka just got ruled out for the rest of the year.
Exactly, and that's actually a really big hit
It
on
is.
them.
But the Clippers always do this, man, and it's so annoying and it's
Yeah,
so
and they
painful.
lose.
But once
They lose.
once they
Not even-
lose that kind of expectation, that pressure, oh man.
No.
Once they're backed into
they
a
lose
corner.
the expectation because they're going to lose the series like they do every year.
Kawhi Leonard is the best player on the floor.
Who just got
in the
clamped by
series.
Bojan Bogdanovic in game 2.
He played good defense. He wasn't clamped. He was 9 of 19.
You said yourself he was
He was up in his grill. I said he played really nice defense, and he did. But Paul George is going to have a big game
unreal.
3, okay? And they're going to go back to Utah down 3-1, and the Clippers are going to dig deep and find the grit
Paul
to come
George
back
is in a
and
competition
win
with
the next 3
Kristaps
games.
Porzingis on who the real playoff P is right now.
Here's the thing.
Unironically,
Kawhi's obviously having a great playoffs, and I don't
Yeah.
think anyone should dog on Kawhi. Even though he's been playing great.
No.
37
He played
rebounds,
super well
4
against the
assists.
Mavericks.
Right, Paul George
The
is
whole
actually,
team
Paul George gets a lot of hate, but he's having a pretty solid playoffs.
Against the
He's been
Mavericks.
inconsistent.
Not
but
these
yeah.
not last
Paul
Not
George
these
was
last two
good
games.
last night.
But I mean, he was inconsistent for most of the game, but then he kind of pulled it together in the fourth.
26 and 10.
But his shooting was pretty bad to start off the game, but then he kind of came into it. But yeah, I agree with you. He's been Reggie Jackson has been popping off. I will say that he has been playing well in this playoffs. He's averaging 16.
Reggie has been great, but they
For
need
scoring.
Reggie
Yeah.
to cool down to win.
Yeah.
Because when Reggie is pulling, and he drives you nuts watching him. He would just pull like a double contested three, and you're like, oh, Reggie, and then it goes in. Okay, but when Reggie is cooking, the Clippers were up. Reggie hit a three, put him up 101 to like 98 last night with like 6 minutes left. And then they missed 9 shots in a row. And I don't think Kawhi even attempted one of those shots because Reggie had just been cooking all night. And so they kept just running the ball through Reggie, and they didn't call any plays for the claw, man. And so it's just Paul George missed 3, Marcus Morris missed, Reggie Jackson missed, Patrick Beverly missing a wide open layup.
Mm-hmm.
They can't play Pat Bev. I'm sorry. I know you need him defensively. He's unplayable. He does
so
nothing on
bad,
offense.
bro.
Okay, they need to give DeMarcus Cousins more minutes. He's
I
the
agree
only
with
guy
that.
who's
I agree with
going
that.
to
He's
go
been playing
back.
well.
Okay, he's capable.
Who do you think is the X factor for this
Luke
series?
Kennard
Cousins.
is nice, but you
Honestly,
can't
Cousins.
play
Or
Luke
Morris.
Kennard in the fourth
I don't
quarter
even
down the
think
stretch
Morris,
of games,
dude.
man.
I think if Morris just
would you-
plays regularly,
Who do you
then
think is
he'll be
the?
fine.
I asked that. Who do you think is
I
the
legit
X factor
think
for
it's
this
Cousins.
series?
The X Factor?
Marcus Morris or DeMarcus Cousins,
I legit think it's Cousins.
or even Paul George. You can
It's
say Paul
it's
George.
Marcus Morris. The Clippers
You
go
really
as
think it's
Morris
Marcus
goes.
Morris?
Unironically, he has been playing so
bad.
hot and cold this
He's
season.
so
In
bad.
the playoffs, too. In Game 7, he was 7 of 9 from 3.
Yeah,
Okay?
and that was
in
nuts.
all the games they
and
lost,
that was the most
he was
threes
like
in a
1 of
game.
10.
That was the most threes in a game 7 ever.
Yeah,
which
the
well,
Clippers
tied
go
with
as
Curry,
Morris
but still.
goes, and they need him to start hitting his open threes, man.
Yeah.
Because he gets a lot of solid looks. They've got the defensive prowess. You know, Gobert is not a skilled enough big man to punish the Clippers' lack of a true athletic big, and you know he's not athletic enough where you can throw Big Zoo and DeMarcus Cousins at him to slow him down. Kawhi and Paul George need to step up because they can guard Donovan Mitchell. Okay, he's ridiculous, but Kawhi and Paul George should be better than Donovan Mitchell, and at least one of them can carry the offensive load while the other commits to defending him. Okay, they don't need to screw around with Pat Bev trying to throw him on him.
Yeah,
I
doesn't
like
work.
Kennard. You play him early. You can't play him down the stretch because Donovan Mitchell just switch hunts him out of existence. Okay, you got to close the game with Kawhi, PG, Marcus Morris, probably Cousins, and then either like
I feel like he might get into
a
foul trouble.
Rondo, Terrence Mann, Reggie Jackson. You can't play Kennard or Pat Bev. You just can't do it, man. They just get hunted, okay? And they're liabilities on one end of the court. I like them early in the game. The Clippers are too talented to get down 3-0. And I don't know what the hell happened in the Dallas series where they got down 2-0 and then they were down 30-11 in the first quarter and then something clicked and they started moving. But I think that's going to happen again. Game 3 is in LA tomorrow night. If they lose, it's over. No team's ever come back 3-0.
No, there's zero chance.
We all know that.
Yeah.
But I think if they take Game 3, even if they lose Game 4, the Clippers got a chance moving forward. I like Ty Lue and the coaching adjustments he made in the first round. You look at Michael Malone. Okay, Mike Malone. Sorry, it's actually Michael. Okay.
That was still the
He
weirdest
accused
thing.
Denver of quitting.
Yeah.
And the team has not responded to him at all. They were up like 12 points in Game 1. They sold. He said the team quit. Since then, they lost Game 2 badly. They're about to lose Game 3 badly. And trust me, they're not going to get gentlemen swept,
What's the
Chuck.
score
They're going to
right now?
lose Game
I actually
4
gotta check
badly.
that. Yeah, that's good.
All right? Ty Lue never said a bad word, a negative word about this team. He just said, we got to keep our head up. You know,
Yeah,
the Mavericks are going to
it's
stop
over.
shooting
They're
hot.
done.
Yeah, Phoenix won.
I really think the Clippers can come back and take this, and it's incredibly infuriating. I just need Charles Barkley to hit that guarantee button and say Utah's going to win. And then we're set. We are set.
Okay, real quick, I just want to mention one more time. Jokic is
Blasphemy.
incredible. He had 30, 20, and 10 in tonight's game, and they still
Hold
lost
on.
by
What did
14.
he shoot from the field, Nick?
13 of 29, which is like, what, 45, 46%?
That's
13
okay.
of 29.
13 of 29. Yeah, that's about that.
That's probably like 40.
44%, maybe. I don't know. But
Uh,
yeah, he had a bad 3-point shooting night, but still.
high 40s.
But still, 30, 20, and 10 with 10 offensive rebounds is nuts. And they still lost by 14. This Suns team is tough. But I think this Jazz team, this is a series that I don't think a lot of people want to see, but legit NBA fans that are like big time fans
love
of
to see
legit
Utah Phoenix.
basketball want to see this
wanna see
series.
Utah beat
I want to see Utah versus Phoenix because I think that is going to be
Those have been the two best
that's
teams
pure
in the West,
basketball.
man.
That's pure basketball, and they've been the two best teams this year. And
In the West.
yeah, in the West. In the
We
West,
need to
obviously.
specify, because
Oh, yeah.
once we go out east,
Once it gets to the
there's a little
championship-
bit of a discrepancy.
Well,
there.
hold on, though, right? Because Brooklyn hasn't been better in the regular season than the Nets and the Jazz. They're just a more talented team.
Yeah.
And the Clippers are the deepest, most talented team in the West. And that's why I have to believe they can dig deep and find something against Utah, man.
I don't know. I think Utah is such a complete team this year, and same with the Suns. But I can see the
You guys are
Clippers.
super deep. Rajon Rondo's your backup point guard.
He did not play coach's decision last night.
Yeah.
But Rondo's a solid player.
The Clippers
so
have
is Terrence
talent.
Mann. He's really good.
Yes, he is.
He's actually
and
nice.
We stopped playing him, and
Yeah,
I don't know
he's
why.
actually nice.
We went with Pat Bev for 21 minutes last night,
And he was horrible.
And he was
He
0
was
for
so
5
bad.
on the
Terrence
field.
Mann can't make layups.
That-
Okay,
that-
well, no, he didn't go for a
had
layup.
We never thought about
13
that,
points
Fletcher.
in Game 7, Chuck. Easy, bro.
Yeah,
Terrence
but
Mann
13
outscored
points,
Tingus
oh boy.
Pingus.
the Clippers are nice, but I love
That's
the way
not
this
very
Jazz
nice,
team.
Scott.
I love this way the Jazz
Right.
team have pulled it
Scotty,
together all
as
year,
much-
and they know how to work
As
together.
much as I love you, and as much as I honestly kind of want the Clippers to win over the Jazz, you just spewed so much blasphemy from your
Thank
mouth.
you.
It's
Look,
too much for
I
me
wouldn't
to
be
handle.
shocked if
All right?
Utah won. I outlined why I like them.
Don't be
But the
shocked. They're
Clippers,
2-0.
the Clippers are the deeper, more talented team, man. And 2-0 does not mean the end of the series.
In my opinion, if a team that
Deeper-
works so well
the
together,
deeper team.
Yes, the deeper team.
Shut up, Scott.
I don't know.
You,
Dude,
how
the
is
Clippers
Utah
bench
deeper?
has been
They have the
trash
sixth
all
man of the
playoffs.
year.
Yeah.
And they
That
got.
means they've got-
Okay, here's the thing. Let's compare it. The Clippers have Paul George. Marcus Morris has been horrible so far this
Okay,
playoff
let's look at
series.
the depth.
You can't really
Look at
count
the
that as depth. Kawhi, Reggie Jackson.
Look at the
DeMarcus
depth.
Cousins.
All those guys start.
I know, but I'm just saying, is that like DeMarcus Cousins, Rajon
at
Rondo,
that.
You look at the
Like,
bench of the
Zubac
Clippers.
isn't that good. Nicholas Batum has been nice. I will admit, Nicholas Batum has
You
been
got
nice.
Batum, you've got
Okay.
Zubac, you got Cousins, you got
Beverly
Terrence
is
Mann, you got
horrible.
Rondo, you got Pat
Alright,
Bev, you got
okay.
Rondo did not
all
play.
those guys
Do
are
not,
capable
do
of
not
playing.
say
Cousins
Pat Bev.
isn't
You
walking
do not
on
mention
non-
Pat Bev in the same
like-
conversation.
Okay,
as those guys.
but you're
Don't
not
even mention
talking about
Rondo.
The Clippers. The Clippers have such a I mean, not the Clippers. My bad. The Jazz have also a very complete roster, and they know how to work together. They have that.
The
chemistry.
Jazz are not deeper,
They
but
have
they
that
complement
chemistry.
each other
They're-
a lot better,
They
and
complement
they're
each
better
other
coached.
way better, and
Yes.
that, in my opinion, that's as important as
They've
pure
got
talent.
They're miles better in chemistry, in
But
fit,
this Nets
and
team
in
is just
coaching.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we know the Nets.
This Nets team.
Okay, speaking of that, can we get to
Let's
the
move-
Eastern
let's
Conference?
move on.
Let's get to the Eastern Conference.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I think we've all kind of said our piece on who we think is going to the
Utah
finals.
five.
I think Utah's going to the
I'm
finals.
going with Utah
The
too.
Clippers are going to the
Utah.
finals.
Shut up, Scott. We'll go to the Eastern
God,
Conference.
you're wrong. I love you.
You're wrong, Scott. Let's start off.
If
Well, no,
Utah
we'll
wins,
see.
though,
We'll just see. We'll
I'd
see.
take Utah over Phoenix.
Let's
I'll say
honestly
that.
let's start off with the more competitive series first. Let's start off with
It's not going to be that.
Philadelphia and
Philly's taking
Atlanta.
it in 5.
I think Philly's taking
I
it in
think
6.
Philly will
Philly
take.
in 5. They
I mean,
get
it was
the
more competitive than the other series.
Let's be real.
Even though Milwaukee won
Well,
last night.
actually, I
The
beg
bad
to
one.
differ, Chuck.
Really bad one.
I beg to differ. At this point, the Hawks got off on a fluke Game 1 victory, and they're about to get gentlemen swept in a bunch of not really close games. Well, meanwhile, yes, we can.
Not
sit
close.
here-
I mean,
games.
they're going back to
Hold
the
on,
A.
hold
though.
on, Fletch. Not close games, like how Milwaukee got lost by 40 when the
Yes,
Nets lost
but then they
James
just
Harden
won-
in the first
they just
minute.
won the next game, Scotty. And I
No,
get
they
that.
lost.
They
two
lost
games
two
and then won
games.
one.
It's 2-1.
and they're about to lose by a combined 80 points in the next two and go home crying to the cheeseheads, bro.
So we're talking about the Hawks series, right?
I don't think Milwaukee is going to win. However, I do.
I guess
think
we're
they're
talking
gonna
about
get
Brooklyn.
Okay, I guess we're talking about Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn is.
Brooklyn is different, man. Their offense. I know this is everyone's saying this.
what
Their
happens when
offense
you
is
get
obviously
around.
unreal. They've got Kyrie, Harden, and KD for God's sake.
I'm
You know,
excited to see how they do.
but their
against Philly.
defense has been really solid so far this year in the playoffs.
When
It
we
has
say
been
their
really
defense
solid.
has been really solid, Tatum cooked them. He just didn't
Tatum
have help
cooked 'em.
because Jalen Brown was
Yeah.
out. And
But
let's
Tatum's
let's
special
be
too.
real
That-
here.
This playoffs, a ton of young talent has just been coming together, right? Like
Let's-
Trey Young,
yeah.
Tatum's popping off.
Tatum's
the
been
point,
good in the
though.
playoffs
That's
before.
not the point, Nick.
The point is, before we go applauding Brooklyn, and I think Brooklyn's going to blow Milwaukee, beat them in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was a horrible win last night. Brooklyn scored 83 points, and you needed a last-second shot to beat them.
And
with
KD
no
just
James
had a
Harden.
bad
from
night.
Drew Holiday,
From Drew
and you need
Holiday.
Chris Middleton
Yeah.
to drop
And
30.
KD just had a
Bruce
bad
Brown
night.
took the last shot for the Nets, which is he shouldn't be doing that. Although he did have a very
He's a
nice
tough,
game.
tough player too.
He is
He's a
a,
good player.
a
He
tough
had a
defender.
good game.
But
He had a good game. I liked a little layup from him. That's his shot.
here's the thing.
That's his
Okay?
shot. You're
Before
right.
we
Fletch.
go,
That's everybody's shot.
before we go
Except for
applauding
maybe
the
Fletcher's.
Nets,
Except for Fletcher's.
Milwaukee-
Neither of your shots.
Milwaukee
No,
sucks in the
no,
playoffs.
layups? sure.
And Milwaukee has
Giannis
sucked
is not
in the
built for
playoffs.
playoff basketball.
Giannis can't shoot. He can't shoot free throws.
Dude,
he can't create his own shot.
We did a video on
And-
this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really,
We
really
did this-
disappointing, man.
he is
And
not-
It's all mental, okay? Because he's not a great shooter, but he can shoot in the regular season. There are games where he'll go 5 of 8 from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
there are
man.
games where he'll go 8 of
frustrating.
10 from the free throw line. And now all of a sudden he's taking 7 dribbles
And
and
28% from
13
free throw line.
seconds to shoot his free throws, man. Like Usain Bolt is running 100 freaking meters.
Dude, it is so-
faster than
it is so
Giannis is
frustrating.
shooting a free throw.
Here's the thing with
It's so
the Giannis
frustrating.
that's pissing me off is that he could so easily improve his game with 2 things. One, he doesn't need a 3-point shot. Everybody's saying he needs a 3-point shot. I do not think he needs a 3-point shot. In fact, I think he should just abandon it in the playoffs because clearly it's just not working
Be
with him.
Shaq.
Just be Shaq, except for work on your free throws.
Yeah.
If you were to work on your free throws and got him to just maybe 75%, maybe 80%, even that's still low. But that's at
Even
least playable.
67%.
That's
bro.
playable.
The problem with
70%.
Giannis is you can't give him the ball in
In
the
clutch.
half court and tell him to go get you a bucket.
it's-
Like Shaq couldn't make his free throws, but you give Shaq the ball
In the
and
post,
he's
dude,
dunking on someone.
There's
okay?
3
He's
guys there and he's
unstoppable.
scoring.
That was
He's
my other
scoring.
thing. Post moves. He needs
Yeah.
to work on his post moves.
Giannis is all transition.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
post
You
move.
know,
He needs to work on his
He's
post moves.
yeah.
He, he doesn't have any.
No, but he does.
He doesn't work in
has
the
He needs to.
though.
He needs to work on his moves
He
in the
should
post.
though.
He should.
He has to.
He would be
able
nice
to
with a
get
nice hook
bucket
shot.
in
If
the
he had a
half
nice
court.
hook shot,
He's,
or
he's got to be able to do something else.
because you have to just give him the ball and say run to the paint, and that's all you can do with Giannis.
All Giannis needs to do to make himself truly unstoppable is become at least a 70% free throw shooter and just develop a little following.
He needs some sort of move. Anything that will just some way to get a bucket in the
Dude,
half
work
court
with
set.
like Tim Duncan or Hakeem
Yeah.
Olajuwon. Get
Yeah,
a, get a move down that you
Hakeem
can
would be
make
perfect,
2 times in a
bro.
row.
Or even-
anything.
Or even David Robinson would be another player that he could learn from.
Yeah,
you know,
David
like
Robinson,
that.
man.
Like
Yeah,
at least
just
David Robinson was
Go watch
shooting
their
decently
tape,
from the
watch
free throw
their
line.
Footwork. Just emulate it.
Yeah, like.
And it's not like Giannis isn't a hard enough worker.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely
he could
not.
Totally,
No, he
could
put on
totally
like
do
40
that.
pounds in
Yeah.
2 years with
The
muscle.
guy is a great dude.
And he's an
super
awesome dude.
strong
Everybody
work
loves
ethic.
Giannis.
Love Giannis. And that's
He's
why it's
in
so
the
frustrating to see him fail year after year in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's in the
Brooklyn's
known
going to
head.
kill him.
I think
I
think
think
this-
Milwaukee steals
Giannis
one more
just looks
game and it's
tentative out
Brooklyn.
there.
I think it's gonna be Nets in 6.
Giannis just like legit looks tentative out there, bro.
He does.
Like I remember
He's-
watching game
It's-
one.
it's
just
really
like, It's
mental.
all mental.
Like,
Yeah.
sure,
Durant was
scored
just killing
33,
him,
but it
bro.
looked like a really scared 33.
So,
Yeah.
assuming we've all got Philly and Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Which
you guys taking
I'm
Brooklyn in the
taking-
East Conference Finals? Or are you taking
Here's
Philly?
the thing, man. Here's the thing.
Yes, I am.
If
Yes, you're taking
But
Brooklyn.
wait, we didn't really get to talk about Philly though. Is that real quick? I just want to say Trae Young has obviously been going crazy.
He's a
So,
great player.
He's a great
Super-
player.
Atlanta's
He's averaging
not
like
bad.
29 and 10, but they're not. I don't think they're gonna make
especially with
it.
DeAndre
talent
Hunter
on the
going
rest
down,
of the
dude, they're
Hawks,
not gonna.
uh,
That's tough. Yeah.
They just Capella can't stop Embiid, and
And
once
Capella's
they put-
great. Capella's
Once they
great.
put Simmons
Capella
on
has
Young,
had
he's
a
just not
great
shooting
season.
efficient
It's
enough.
just Embiid is an MVP caliber player,
Yeah.
and while John Collins is really good, it's just like his stuff just sort of gets canceled out by like whatever.
The Hawks
Tobias
have a
Harris
bunch of
does.
solid players, but they don't have enough star
Yeah.
power yet.
Yeah,
I like
And
them.
then,
I like them a
they
year or
don't
two
quite
down
have
the
the
road.
A
role
year or two down the
players
road,
that-
they could legitimately be contenders.
They don't have the role players that Philly does either. Like they don't have.
I don't know
like,
about that.
I mean,
They've got a
they
lot.
do.
of solid
Gallinari has
guys.
been nice for them
Their
off the bench.
Hunter when
Gallinari-
Hunter
Where
plays.
Herder,
when
Herder, I think
Hunter
it's
and
Herder.
Reddish
It's
are
Kevin
healthy,
Herder.
Yeah,
Kevin
off the
Herder.
bench they've
Herder.
got Gallo, they've got Herder, they've got what's his name, Solomon Hill, who's now a starter, but he's an
I
okay.
don't
He
know.
was
I don't know.
Scott. He was once making more money than Stephen Curry. Let that
Yeah,
sink in.
and then
But the point is, they've got a bunch of guys who can shoot out the bench. They've
and then
got Lou
Bogey's
Williams.
been awesome for them as
Yeah.
a
Oh
starter.
my god, I forgot Lou Williams was in
Yeah,
Atlanta.
no, they can shoot the heck out of the basketball.
Yeah, they're a good team.
But
Yo,
they
isn't
had
Cam
some
Reddish
injuries
there?
and they're young. Yeah, he's got like an Achilles injury. But when he's healthy, he averages
They're-
like 12 games.
Their future's
Zion's
nice,
favorite
man.
teammate from Duke.
They have got
Yeah.
a very
No,
bright future.
Yeah?
actually.
Yeah.
Zion's
So
gonna
Zion's-
come to
so-
New York
so
to
Zion's
play
going
with
to
our
Atlanta,
team.
right?
He doesn't want to go to the A. He
He's
wants
going
to
to
go
the
to
A.
New York.
Yeah, he's
But
going to the
that-
A.
No.
Yeah.
Here's my thing: is I
Have
think
you heard Zion gushing about playing at State Farm Arena? No, I don't think you did. Joe. Easy.
here's the thing: I think if they can keep that core together, with the Hawks, I
Sure.
think they could totally make it down the road.
Totally.
But right now,
They're
I don't think it's
scrappy.
their time yet. Right?
at all.
And
They need to find a way to build some defense around Trae Young.
Well, I mean, they already have a very solid defense.
they
so
got
far.
They've got
Capella.
Capella and they've got
Yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah,
When they're
but,
healthy.
like, other than that, it's just like Trae Young is a huge
True.
defensive
The
liability.
team actually,
And
since Nate McMillan
Nate
took
McMillan has
over,
really turned this team
they've
around.
been
Nate
solid
McMillan-
defensively. They're outmatched.
Nate, you want to come back to Portland, bro? We could use you. We need a coach.
I would love if Nate McMillan just hopped up out of Atlanta and came to Portland.
And just came back to Portland.
That would be
That'd
hilarious.
lit, bro.
I
That'd be
would-
lit.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would-
they're gonna keep
I mean,
him.
No, I mean they ran into the
They're
process,
gonna
guys.
do everything in
They
their
ran
power.
into the process, and you know what happens.
Joel, what was the funny thing that the guy do a 180 and beat or something where he was on
Yeah,
Jeopardy
do a 180.
and they totally said like the wrong thing. Joel, do a 180 and beat.
Yeah.
Didn't he make that his Twitter handle?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm taking Philly over Brooklyn in the East Conference Finals.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do like.
Really?
I think
Here's my
we're
thing.
overestimating the
Interesting.
Bucks because they swept the
I
Bubble
thought you were
Guppies
saying
with Tyler
Philly
Hero.
over Atlanta.
Here's my thing: is I think the Nets,
This is awkward.
if they can pull their defense together even further, their defenses looked nice over the last couple of playoffs. Right?
Okay,
playoff
but
series.
hold on. When you say
It's
if
looked
they
nice.
can pull their defense together,
But,
what
like-
would lead you to believe they can pull their defense together? Because they
But
do
here's
not
my
have the
thing.
personnel to play any better defense.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying: is that if they can just do a good job of just collectively
what's a good
falling
job?
together on Benson. I mean, not Benson.
Operantly
What am I saying?
define what a good job is.
Trapping
Who is
the hell out of
guarding
Embiid.
Embiid, bro?
Yeah, I know.
Because
That's what I'm saying. is
DeAndre
that
Jordan
they're-
doesn't play.
They're gonna have to trap
And
the
Blake
hell out of him.
Griffin is not stopping.
They're gonna
Joel
have to
Embiid.
trap the hell out of him,
Yeah,
and that's
Blake
what
Griffin's gonna
Hold on, they're
dunk
gonna,
on Joel
Did you
Embiid.
say trap Embiid?
trap him down.
Embiid doesn't handle the ball.
Well, I mean, when he gets the ball in the post, you're gonna have to follow.
Just
You're,
double
you're
it?
just gonna have to throw guys.
What
at
are
him.
you-
You're just gonna
You're
have
gonna
to
take
throw
a
guys
guy
at him.
off Seth Curry, and
Yeah,
he's gonna
that's
get
my
30
problem, is that-
points.
Like,
or Tobias Harris or
if that's
Danny.
I don't know what the
I'm
Nets
not-
are gonna do on defense.
Honestly,
I'll be honest.
if I'm Brooklyn, I am willing to let Danny Green or Seth Curry beat us and not let Embiid beat
Oh, I
us.
agree.
Okay,
That's
but
what I'm
when
saying.
you say throw two guys on Embiid, who are the two guys? Because it can't be Harden
Yeah.
and Durant. Because combined, they're 250 pounds. Okay, and neither of them is stopping Embiid. All right.
I don't know.
Behind their two.
I
Claxton.
don't even know.
Nicholas
He
Claxton.
looks-
I like Claxton.
I like
He's
him
not
too, and
stopping.
he's got
a
potential. But he's
Assuming
not.
Embiid
Yeah.
is healthy.
Guys,
Assuming
guys,
Embiid is healthy.
You're overthinking this, all right?
Yeah,
If
what's up,
Embiid's
Fletcher?
not healthy, then that series over.
Like,
already.
is Embiid really going to
How
go for
do
like
we
60 a
defend
night
Embiid?
against
It's
Brooklyn,
just-
though?
But he's gonna go for 40 and 20.
It's just, what's the best way to outscore Embiid? And they're gonna do that. This is
Okay.
But
No,
the
yeah, listen.
Sixers do have tough defense.
Here's
though.
the
Ben
thing.
Simmons.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You're
you-
gonna put Ben Simmons on Kevin
Matisse,
Durant.
Matisse Thybulle, just
You
gonna say,
can't- you
just
can't
gonna take my
guard
second.
everyone, though.
I'm just gonna take my
you
10
cannot
seconds
guard
to rave
everyone.
about Matisse
I would rather
Thybulle.
take Embiid over Blake Griffin
Shut up
than
about Matisse
playoff Kyrie
He's
and a
been
hamstring.
amazing on
Hold
defense.
on.
I didn't want to hear
I'm
it.
putting Simmons on KD, and I am taking Embiid over washed up Blake Griffin every day, way more than I'm taking Kyrie and playoff, notorious for failing in the playoffs, plus hamstring injured James Harden against like Danny Green
Notorious for
And
failing.
Matisse
and
Thybulle.
Tobias Harris.
2018, he
Thybulle,
should have
yeah,
won a title.
whoever.
okay.
Harden?
Listen, I
Yeah,
know
Because
James
of Chris
Harden
Ball,
is
who's about to lead Phoenix to a
choking in the
title.
playoff. I know James Harden is notorious for choking in the playoffs, but he's in a different situation now in
Yeah.
Brooklyn. And when
What he
he's
is in a
healthy-
goddamn hospital bed, okay? And he's not going to make a
He's
difference
not
if
that
he's
guy.
sitting there with his hamstring wrapped up.
He is that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy when he's on the basketball court.
Dude, I legit
All right,
think
so
you
he's
just,
gonna get healthy.
it's gotta
Find
be
a way to
Brooklyn,
get
man.
healthy
It's
by the
gotta
Eastern
be Brooklyn.
Conference.
like you.
Here's
you
one
cannot
case.
guard
here's,
everybody.
Here's my one
There's
thing.
too
is that
many people.
I
Yes,
say,
but when you say that you can't guard Brooklyn, Brooklyn can't guard Philly, and Philly at least.
But
has
they
guys
have
who
one-
who's
can
the better?
Slow
Okay,
down
then who's the
Brooklyn.
better 3-point shooting team?
3-point shooting?
Yeah, because if your whole thing is they're kind of going to cancel each other out, the three ball is going to
No,
be
but
the
they're not
deciding
because
factor.
Philly can slow down Brooklyn. Obviously, you can't stop them, but they've got the
In
defensive
terms of in the half court
personnel.
setting.
Yeah,
They do
they've
have
got
nice
the
defense.
defensive
They do have nice
personnel
defense.
to make Kevin Durant work for his buckets.
Okay.
Okay, nobody is stopping Embiid on Brooklyn. And don't tell me DeAndre Jordan's gonna start
absolutely
playing.
not.
Okay, don't tell me Blake Griffin
Jordan sucks.
is gonna find his hops again. They literally
sucks.
don't have anyone to put on.
Just wait until
Okay.
Chris Paul comes to
They
Brooklyn, man.
don't
DeAndre
have
Jordan's going to
anybody
be
to
all
put
NBA
on
first team
Embiid.
again.
And I'm not saying they need anybody to put on Embiid. I'm saying they're going to outscore Embiid. They just are.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't be shocked if Brooklyn won, but I like the way Philly matches up with them. And I like the way Milwaukee matches up with them, which we saw in the regular season, except for the fact that when the playoff comes around, Giannis gets a little gooky in
his head. It's
and
kind of
starts pulling a bunch of threes.
And I love Giannis.
Taking 15-second free throws.
Giannis is probably my favorite player that doesn't play for Portland. And it's just hard to see him struggle so much when I know that he could totally fix his game if, he worked on his free throw shot and he just worked on his off ball.
Joel Embiid is not afraid of Brooklyn
My favorite
or the
player
playoffs
who
the
doesn't
way
play
that
for
Giannis
Portland is no, never mind.
RJ Barrett.
Yeah, it's RJ Barrett.
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Yep. The
It'd
Maple
probably
Mamba.
be Westbrook.
Okay, but do you want? Let's talk about the finals. You have the Nets and you have the Clippers coming out.
I have
No, he
Philly.
was Philly.
Well, I mean, my bad. Sorry, you have Philly.
We
and
have
Nets.
the
The
Nets
rest of
and
us is
Jazz,
Brooklyn.
and I got the Nets and 5.
You may have the jazz, but I have the rock and roll, and maybe some hip hop as well.
Wait, did we even talk about the Western Conference Finals though yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I said I'd take Utah over Phoenix. Are you taking Phoenix, Fletch?
That's actually really close for me.
Look,
Because
I'm
if
taking.
you
Utah
don't take,
as well.
I'm taking Utah too.
Utah and 7.
I'm taking.
Okay, so
Utah.
we
Utah
all
and
got
6.
Utah, but you have
But
the
in
Sixers
reality,
and
I
you
have, I have the
Nets.
Clippers over the Suns in 6.
Yeah, true.
I'm saying just if Utah
So the winner of the Utah and Clippers series
is going 6 over Phoenix.
Yeah, I think
And I think whoever comes out the West wins the NBA Finals.
The what?
the West.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Philly and
I
the
think
Nets
whoever
are
comes out
tough.
the East. I think Philly and whoever wins out of Philly and Brooklyn is winning the
Again,
finals.
like I said, I'm taking the Clippers over the Sixers, but I think if the Jazz beat the Clippers, they'd beat Philly too.
Alright, well, I think you've lost.
You're
your
just
mind.
saying that because you think LA is going to come out the West when in reality they're
That's
not.
true.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
look,
Because
I'm
you
telling you
still
right
feel-
now, even if LA doesn't come out the West, Utah will beat Phoenix and Philly.
Philly would be an interesting
Brooklyn
one.
and Philly?
What?
Are
Yeah,
you
Utah-
talking about
Utah would beat Phoenix in the Western
on the
Conference
road
Finals.
to the finals?
Yeah.
What
and
happens if
then
they match
in
up
the
with Brooklyn,
finals
then?
would be, they're not going to match up with Brooklyn because Brooklyn's not getting past Philly.
I don't know, man.
Brooklyn
This
is
Nets
getting
team
past
is
Philly.
just
That's
so.
where you're wrong, though, Scotty. That is where you're.
Let's
Look,
just be
I
honest.
need
This
to
is going to
see-
be a great series,
I
no
need
matter
to
what.
see how healthy Harden is.
Yeah, and I also need to see how healthy Joel Embiid is.
And Embiid's healthy. He's playing, man.
Yeah, but I
I
mean,
don't think it matters.
you never know with
I
Embiid
legit
playing
don't think it
full-on
matters.
playoff minutes.
Big
The
man
intensity
Yeah,
of the
but
playoffs.
Embiid got hurt like 3 games ago and has been playing through it and has still been a dog.
True.
Harden is literally not playing right now. So that's where I think
he
there's more
doesn't
questions
need
around.
to be.
No, he doesn't. I'm with you. Milwaukee's getting dumped on. But I'm saying, I don't know if Harden's going to play or how effective he will be when they play
Harden
Philly.
is
I
going
legit
to play,
think they're
and
just
Harden
like
is going to
being
smash.
Resting
super
them?
aggressively cautious because they know they have
They're just
Milwaukee's
disrespecting
Dude,
Milwaukee.
think
that
about
much.
you said it yourself. Harden went
Yeah.
down the first minute. They won by 40.
Yeah.
Why would you rush him back when
Oh,
you
yeah,
know
I
he's
wouldn't.
they're just going to be
I
fine?
wouldn't.
Yeah,
But
you
I
gotta
think
rest him.
Harden might seriously be hurt.
Yeah, true.
I think,
I don't know.
He missed, he missed
think
like
he's
the
fine.
final 2 months of the season, dude.
Yeah.
he's fine. He's fine. Don't even worry about it. James Harden's
Don't
fine.
even
I mean,
worried
they're
about it,
best
dude.
to keep
Don't even
everything under
Don't
wraps,
even trip.
but if anything, that makes me more hopeful for them. I think they're just trying to conceal him for the fact that he's going to be ready to smash Philly.
Okay, so you have
If by smash Philly you mean James Harden could beat Meek Mill in a 1v1, then yeah, he could smash Philly.
Right,
but
so-
he's not doing nothing with
right.
Ben Simmons out.
so final picks for winning the finals.
Well, Ben Simmons
You have the
is gonna
Clippers.
do stuff on KD.
It's somewhat out of the. I think
it's whoever's winning the East.
whoever's
and I
winning
got
the East,
Nets.
and I think it's Brooklyn, but it could be the Sixers,
talk.
but mostly it's the
and
Brooklyn.
you guys
It's
are
mostly-
haters.
talk.
I thought the
Yeah.
West Coast was the best coast,
Brooklyn
fellas.
wins
You
a
live in Oregon.
thrilling
Come on.
7-game series over Utah.
Say that again, Fletch. You got Brooklyn in 7 over Utah?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
in the finals. All right.
I really like Utah though.
Anyway, thank you all
I
for
like-
watching this
oh.
longer episode of The Last Word. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a like. Let us know who you guys have winning the series.
You don't have to let us know. We know you're all taking the Clippers.
Let us
but,
know who
yeah.
you all have winning the NBA Finals. Hopefully, it's not the Clippers. Anyways, thank y'all for watching.
Chucky.
This has been The Last Word. This is the part where you go.